Hello, this is Gerlenheimer back again. Uh, Word of road safety. And I don't think this was, of course, everything's online. You don't have a book anymore. And so my kids did their um, driver's test. Well, they didn't, well, one of them's done, the driver's exam, excuse me, the written test. Um, the book, it, they did, it's all online, and they went over it and they passed and everything. But back in the 80s when I was going through it, I remember there was verbiage in there about not passing on a bridge, or not changing lanes on a bridge, if not one, at least the other. And of course, back then, yes, we did have four and three lane highways and freeways. Maybe the information was a bit dated. Maybe it was from earlier. And when a bridge was only two lanes, you had one road going one direction, the other lane going the other direction. And you're supposed to only pass on white dotted lines, or white or dotted yellow lines. If it's solid, you're not supposed to pass technically. But I'll never forget that in the driver's manual I was had in the 80s. Now, I think there's a reason for that. I think it's still valid. I don't care how many lanes are on a bridge. Especially if you're on maybe a two-lane bridge and it's all one way and there's another bridge going the other direction. Because, let me tell you this, and this just happened to me, and it was I almost had an incident, but we're good. I'm in a newer car, and I failed to see the light on my right side blinking, and because of this car, I was signaling. I was signaling. The lady should have known me signaling. She was before she even got into my blind spot, because the light doesn't come on until they're supposedly in your blind spot. I was signaling to go into the right lane for a good minute, and right as I do, all of a sudden the boop 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 boop. How'd that go again? Boop 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 boop. Starts going off, and I'm like, whoa! And I look over, and she's there, and I'm like, oh my gosh! So I waved like I'm sorry, and got in my lane. There was no incident, and I was just like, oh my gosh! And then on the interstate, I'm in the far right lane, a car in front of me, and there's a big rig kind of in the middle. The little car in front of me gets off the exit. Well, then the big rig starts to come over. Well, I'm in his blind spot now. Had he come all the way over, I had to move. I didn't land my horn or anything. He must have seen me, because then, he's doing this number and finally gets back into his lane. And I actually just, instead of going nuts, instead of getting mad and road rage or anything like that, I just back off from my speed to let him get over in front of me if he wanted to get over, to give him space. That's what you're supposed to drive with, in consideration of others, while trying to adhere to the rules of the road. Not many people do that. And so, in instances like that, if you are trying to cross lanes on a bridge or pass on a bridge, again, it may not be in the book anymore, but I would highly advise it. Highly advise against it. Excuse me. Because, if again, you're in a newer car and you're getting over, your car may give you a bunch of whistles and scream at you because there's someone in your blind spot, and you may not have turned and looked at them to notice or whatever, or you're in an older car and it may not do that. And if you're on a bridge and there's someone in your blind spot that you can't see and you are changing into their lane, they have nowhere to go. Think about that. They have nowhere to go. But if there is a shoulder, they have somewhere to go. Many times you will see low shoulder or no shoulder. And it's to help with if you're passing it or not. If normally, a long time ago here in Alabama, a lot of 2-lane roads. It took 6.5 hours and hours on this stretch of highway they used to call Montgomery, Florida Road or something, 280 or whatever like that, or 31. And it took you all the way down. And, my parents knew it well, apparently. And the old route, well, yeah, you would kind of, hop and hop and hop. And you'd have to do it safely because you were on a 2-lane road. And there were incidents back then. There were wrecks. And, when it happened, everybody knew. It would be in the newspapers. Little old ladies had a knitting party. It was put in the newspapers. Everybody knows somebody having a Tupperware party. Everybody knew somebody was, look at some of those old papers. You will get a laugh. You'll just, but anyway. And then there's another cue and clue that is still on the roads today. And that's the color of the road itself. When you get on a bridge, it's no longer pavement. It's something else. It's a lighter color to let you know, 1, you are on a bridge. 2, it is different material because it needs to give for the weight of the cars, for wind variance, for et cetera, maybe even possible earthquakes or mild earthquakes or whatever. It is made of a different material to let it breathe. Okay? So when you're on a bridge versus you're not on a bridge, the color of the pavement is completely different. So, drive. I'm not telling you how to drive, but I'm just remember the rules of the road. Because I don't believe in karma, but maybe that was karma that happened today, because I almost hit somebody and then someone almost hit me. Luckily, nothing happened both times. But both were results of maybe not quite looking, but also at the same time being in blind spots. And if you were trying to, again, cross, maybe if not pass someone on a bridge, even if you're going all in the same direction, or even changing lanes, I would advise against that on a bridge. Especially if you're not checking your blind spot. And that's why we have all these bells and whistles on all these cars that have been made in the past 3, 4 years, 5 years or whatever, to let you know if there's someone in your blind spot between the lights and the beep beeps. With that, drive safely. Drive in consideration of others, because it's not just your life on the line, it's the lives of everyone else around you. We'll see you next time. Just a safety word. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time. God bless.